Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Sims 4 speed build for you, and not unlike a lot of my other builds, it started as one thing and I feel like kind of turned into something else. I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately, but you know what? It's good. It's the creative process. Like, things change, and like I'm still really happy with the result. It's just not like what I necessarily envisioned when I started. So originally I wanted this to kind of be like a cool like container home kind of thing, like they're stacked on top of each other. And I feel like while each of the pieces of the home do kind of look like the shape of a container, I don't necessarily feel like they themselves look like containers, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't give them the like metallic facade. Like, I used that like metal roofing that kind of looks like it would be on a container home, but I don't have like the sides on it. You know what I mean? So I feel like we could pretend, and maybe it was just like really heavily modified and like the person was like, I want to use containers, but I'm going to do a bunch of stuff to it so they don't actually look like containers. Like, maybe that's what's happening. But anyway, so it just changed a little bit and became this like desert oasis thing, and I think it looks really cute. I really like the way it turned out, and I honestly feel like it is like a sim living their best life. Like, they like entertaining and all that kind of good stuff, and it is a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. So there's not a lot of room for Sims in terms of like living there, you know what I mean? Like, it'll sleep like 2 Sims unless someone wants to sleep on the couch, you know what I mean? Like, that is also an option. But there's a lot of entertaining space. Like, we have a really big like deck porch area on the back, and we have that really cool covered swimming pool, which I really like. I don't know, I feel like that way your Sims like can't get struck by lightning while they're swimming. Or like, there's also a ceiling over the area where you would go from one part of the build to the other. So again, your Sims will be protected. It's not like they're gonna get struck by lightning or anything. Like, I didn't, because I also was trying to make it so where like maybe possibly the Sim wouldn't be like super scared when there's a storm, because they always freak out, and I was trying to actually avoid that. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that'll actually help, but I tried. I was thinking about it, like if that makes it any better. I did think about it, but I just like the way this looked, and the background of this lot just cracks me up every time. Like, the giant dinosaur back there, like, and it looks like I swear the thing over there looks like a car wash. Like, that's what that reminded me of. And I know that has nothing to do with the build that I'm doing, but like, it's behind the lot I built on, right? So like, I guess I can talk about it, but it was just what I was looking at, and so like what I was thinking about. And so listen, I know that recently I have talked about a lot of my builds catching on fire when I have the Sim like playtest it. It happened again. I kid you not. Like, I can't make this up. Like, I've really like, it happened like every once in a while, but all of the sudden this week, like, all of my builds that have like a fireplace or fire pit or something, it's catching on fire. I feel like my game may be cursed at this point. Like, I don't know. I don't know if something is like weirding my game out, and so it's causing there to be fires constantly. But so I do have a screenshot of that at the end of this. So just, you know, for funsies, at the very end, you can see a Sim sitting there. Literally, she is sitting amongst the fire, and she just looks so unenthused. Like, it kind of cracked me up. Like, we end up making this like sunken fire pit in the back a little bit later on towards the end of the build, and she's literally sitting there just like, I don't care for what's happening here. Like, why is this happening? And I'm like, it's on fire, and you're just like sitting there. So it's fine. So it is already up on the Sims 4 gallery. No fire damage. It is fully intact. What's on the gallery. It has been play tested, so you shouldn't have any kind of issues with it. And it's under my ID, spicensprinkles, all one word, all lowercase. And down in the description if you want to see it written out, if you want to try to use this lot. And I love how I said like try to use it, as if like good luck, there's something wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's totally fine. Like, it is usable. You shouldn't have any issues. And I'm not going to lie. I don't know what was happening. I swear, maybe it's just because I've been like building so much lately. Like, I don't know. I was getting really upset with the Sim I was using to play test this. And that sounds so silly, but I end up using a ladder in order to get to the second floor. And I don't know why, but the Sim didn't want to use it. Like, she just didn't want to use the ladder. And I was like, I don't think there's a reason that should be happening. You know what I mean? Like, I moved all kinds of stuff to try to figure out what was blocking the Sims' way. Like, what were they upset about? I never found anything. Like, I will never know. I will never know what caused that issue. So I ended up having to move the ladder, like, just a little bit. And I know this is, like, I'm getting ahead of myself because we're definitely not at that point yet. But I do end up having to move it over, like, and your sim can use it. Like, it's fine now. But I don't know what's going on. I got so irritated with that sim. I kid you not. I literally evicted them out of the house and brought in another sim to play test it. Just in case, like, that sim was just being, like, annoying. Like, no, and it turns out, the other sim didn't want to use it either. So, like, that was a whole thing. Like, I don't know why. It really looked like it should have worked. And I think, I'm not kidding too, when I was taking screenshots, I think the fire pit caught on fire, like, 3 times. 3 times. I only got picture of one of it, like, one of the times it happened. But it was that original sim that I got annoyed with had, like, a fire started twice while they were on the lot. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it's the sim. And then I replaced the sim, and that sim also caught the house on fire. So I don't really know what's happening. So, like, let me know. Like, is it my game? Like, is anybody else experiencing this? Like, I have never had this issue before. So I don't know. Maybe it's my save file. Maybe the save file is like, you know what? You've built way too many things, and you need to start a new one. I don't know. Maybe that's the issue. I'm not really sure, but it was just it was a bit frustrating. But we are here. It is functional. It works, and I do really like the way it turned out. Despite the way that I'm talking about it, I'm just like, yeah, this build was really annoying to playtest, but actually I think it turned out really nicely. And like I said, for me, I feel like it was minimalistic. I don't know if you would necessarily consider it minimalistic, if that makes sense. So if you've watched my other stuff, you know that I like putting a lot of things in my builds. There's usually a lot of clutter, all kinds of stuff. And I was actually, I think, building this and another build, and we got the SDX drop, which had the new, like, swatches for that, like, little base game bookcase thing, which I literally finished this build and I was like, I found out later that we got that, and I was like, man, I really wish we'd had that. I feel like I would have used it, because I didn't feel like, I mean, I may have actually just, like, caved and used that little bookcase thing, but it did not have colors that I was particularly enthused with for this build, so I feel like I would have changed the swatch. But anyways, you know what? You can change it if you would like to. But I just thought it was kind of funny. I was like, of course that happened while I was literally building. Like, I don't know if I was, like, necessarily recording the moment that, like, I got the little pop-up saying, hey, there's like an SDX drop, you need to restart your game. And I was like, no, not right now. I'm in the middle of something. Like, I'm busy. But anyways, so we ended up, like, just kind of keeping things kind of simple. I went with a lot of black, gray, white, and, like, I threw in a little bit of beige there too, since we have some of that, like, wood tone, oh my goodness, on the exterior of the build. This is what I get for doing way too many voiceovers in a week. Like, I just, like, can't talk anymore. And oh my goodness, it's been a week, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm trying to get a bunch of builds out to make sure that I have plenty of content going out while I'm not in town. So it's been a whole thing. It's totally fine. And who knows, maybe, like, that's also why I was getting irritated, because I'm like, I'm actually trying to be ahead, and my game's like, no, I think I'm gonna be difficult. But anyways, I'm gonna stop talking about how my game is difficult. I don't know, I just really find it kind of funny that it was giving me so many issues. Like, that's just so silly. But anyways, I really wanted to include, like, this nice cozy fireplace area, and I end up using the, like, curved couch piece that came with the Dream Home Decorator. I do swap it for the other one, I think, but I thought it looked really cool, and so I end up actually having to, I believe I end up actually having to move that, like, cushion there that I placed, because I think it was in the way for the sim to actually be able to light the fireplace, which was a bit annoying, but it's just moved off to the side, I think. So if you see that in the screenshots, like, I did have to, like, move it around, and if you also download it, like, it'll be somewhere different. So just as a warning, like, I don't even know if you would, like, notice these things, but, like, I know that I did it, so I thought I'd mention it. And so just adding in a few pieces here, so it kind of looks like, you know, there's decor, but that it's not overly cluttered, which this was so difficult for me. I was like, no, don't add any more. Like, literally, this part of the living room, I was like, I feel like there needs to be something here. Like, this is making me crazy. Like, I just feel like it was just empty. And again, that's just because I tend to put a lot of things everywhere. And then we end up having this really cute kitchen over here. I think I end up settling on doing a two-toned cabinet situation in the kitchen, and I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna see me place some cabinets, and then it's just going to magically be different because I ended up having a hard time deciding what I wanted. So I was just like, you know what? Nobody needs to see this. So it's just going to just change. And then you're going to see what it actually ends up being, because I was like, this is too much for somebody to watch. Like my indecisiveness, just like back and forth on what colors I wanted and things like that. And I am happy to say though that when I was playtesting, well, no, I think I had a problem with the kitchen too. The sim didn't want to get to the fridge. I was like, it's, you know what, listen, it has been a week for me in terms of trying to like make builds. I don't know what was going on with me. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've gotten decently good at like knowing when Sims can and can't get to items, but like, I don't know, maybe not this week. Maybe I was just kind of off, you know what I mean? But I think it turned out really nicely, and your sim like can do all the things they need to and get to everywhere they need to be. And I just, like I said, I tried to make this like a really nice entertaining space so that your sim can have a bunch of people over. I mean, they do have this like really nice like pool, a really nice entertaining space, which I do at the end is actually when I decorate that like back porch. Like we have a grill, we have a bar, we have a giant table, and we also have like that fire pit that I'm hoping doesn't actually just catch on fire all of the time, like when you use it. And I do want to note that we did put the fruit bowl over in the corner. It is in the kitchen area, but it is there. It is there. It is not on the counter, but it is over in the corner. So I just wanted to point that out, and that it is there, and we did include it. But I ended up using that wall piece. I don't think I've ever used it from, I think it was the Get to Work, right? That's where we got like the restaurant stuff. And no, Dine Out. That's so silly. Obviously it's Dine Out. Oh my goodness. Dine Out, not Get to Work. We got like bakeries and stuff with Get to Work. Anyways, that came with Dine Out. I don't think I've really ever used it, but I think that it looked actually really nice on the wall and kind of made sense. Like it looked like a piece of art that these Sims would actually have. And I squeeze in like a small, like, I was happy to say desert. Y'all, I am like, today is just, I don't know. Anyways, it's fine. I squeeze in a small office area up here for your Sims, and you can see the nice like ladder I have placed. I don't know why, but seriously, the sim never wanted to use it. So it ends up getting like scooted over a tile, I believe is actually where it ends up. I did a lot of like different scenarios to try to get it to work. So your sim should be good. Unfortunately, I think it ends up like blocking part of the window downstairs that's next to the door, which I really wanted to avoid, but the sim said, no, you're gonna have to place it there, like too bad. So it's there. And I'm not going to lie, the bathroom, we're gonna get to that in a little bit, but I had a little bit of a difficult time deciding how to lay out the bathroom area, because here's the thing. I loved the windows in that room. Like I was obsessed with those, and I knew I didn't want to get rid of them. And I also knew that I wanted a beautiful, big bathtub. Like that is something, I don't know why, but it just felt like that's something this house would have, if that makes sense. So that was a whole thing, trying to get everything like placed in there, but we do figure it out. I will say there is not a mirror in the bathroom, but there is a mirror on the lot. I think I actually end up adding one in the living room space so that your sim can actually get access to like what they need to. And anyway, so just adding this in here, I was going to do this like this kind of bathtub, but then I ended up going with like the corner bathtub. And I think, like I said, I think it looks really, really cute, and I really do like it. And just swapping things around. And I really wanted to have a double sink. Again, it's just like an arbitrary, like I felt like this house would have it. You know what I mean? Like, and you can see I'm like taking all the pieces out and putting them back in and like trying to rearrange stuff. And eventually the conclusion I came to was that we're not gonna have a mirror. Like that's going to be the way it is. And you know what? You can see the bathroom like from the street. It's fine. Like I think it looks really cool in pictures, but like realistically, like a human like in the real world would probably not appreciate that. But in The Sims, it doesn't matter. So that's what we're going with. So I end up not putting curtains on that window. I don't believe I do. But I end up just adding a little bit of clutter in here. And like, I don't know. I feel like maybe they just like the idea of being able to like look out like into the desert. I don't know, like while they're getting ready. I don't know. So that they have that really nice view and that they can like utilize that big, beautiful window. Like I said, I couldn't get rid of it. I loved it way too much. And I even include a hot tub up there on the top balcony, which I kind of get to that a little bit later on. And we end up actually, I messed around a lot with how to get in a like sunken platform area here and have it still have a fence and have it still make sense. And because it didn't like the fact that I had the foundation on stilts. So I did have to change the foundation like for this back like porch area for this to work. And I also like, it didn't want me to, every time I tried to draw the fence there, it like popped the platform back up. So it wasn't like sunken anymore. So just FYI, what I ended up doing was actually just drawing out a piece of fence and then placing it there. And like I feel like that's a really good tip and like trick for a lot of things, especially when it comes to like tile counts for like the tiny like residential lots. Like doing that kind of thing kind of tricks the game, it feels like. So anyways, it works out there and I think it looks really nice in this area, and just adding in a little bit of vegetation there. And like I said, this is where the sim ends up just sitting while everything's on fire, and I was like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing this? I'm like, can you at least call the fire department, like, and have them put it out? Because I don't want the whole house to burn down. You know what I mean? Like, we really should probably take care of this issue. So I did include some, like, lounging chairs as well, so your sim can go hang out by the pool and, you know, like, take in that view. And I thought it just looked so pretty. I do end up putting, like, a little bubble thing at the bottom of the pool, so it's kind of, like, bubbly and all that kind of good stuff. So it just looks, I don't know, I feel like it looks just really premium. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you could also use this almost as, like, a vacation home too, because it just kind of has that vibe. And of course you can change the lot type if you'd like to and play with it that way, but for right now it's just a residential lot. So if you download it, you'll have to like change it, I guess, to a rental, so if you wanted to use it that way. And then just kind of finishing up here on the balconies, and I end up making this like a cute like spa hot tub area. So I have like that table, and I end up putting some like basically spa day stuff, like some towels and things on there just for this really nice relaxing experience. And I end up using that like big, I don't know, like waterfall looking feature thing. I put that there too, which I think kind of also adds a little bit of privacy maybe to that bathroom area, which I thought was kind of nice. So maybe it's not quite as like, look, it's a bathroom. You know what I mean? Like, but that like the sim could still see out, like that kind of good stuff. And I end up putting like an easel and like 2 yoga mats up here so your sim can come and relax and, you know, do yoga, I guess, if they're into the wellness, skill, and paint and all that kind of good stuff. And I think I end up taking out the meditation cushion because it just didn't fit really well. But if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.
Head underwater, I'm falling back into you. I thought we'd be smarter, I got nothing left to lose. You said you fall with me, no matter how far it goes. Down deep and under, we're stuck in this pattern, but I need you close. All I ever wanted was for you to prove me wrong. You're changing our colors again and again. I could never let you go. Something about you feels so different, makes me wanna risk it every time I look at you.